All right, everybody, welcome back to another HPT webinar, right? Mentorship webinar. The goal of this webinar is to go through the week, go through trades we took. But more importantly, the most important part of this webinar is to dive into areas you're struggling in, right? Like things that, obviously, it's great. It's really important to solidify what's working, right? So we're going to do that too. But you got to be self-critical, right? Like you got to dive into what's not working, areas or behaviors that cost you money over the week, right? And I've noticed a bunch of stuff I did this week that I want to talk about. It was a challenging week in my opinion, and it's because of some things that I did. Friday turned out to be a great day, and one thing I want to comment on before we get going is risk management is our job. Our goal is to manage money, right? Like it's so important to really like highlight that because you are one bad day away of a rut, right? You're one stupid, egoic, right? Based off ego, like you're one decision away of hopping in a rut, making bad moves, making some stupid mistakes. But even when you're making mistakes, as long as you're managing appropriately, you get to stay in the game. And then the next day, like a day like Friday, you know, where you get a super trending day towards the end of the day, you can kill it, right? Friday made up for every loss I had earlier in the week, right? Literally one solid trade, literally just helped me bounce back from a tough week, right? And that's the game we're playing. It's capital management, right? You have to manage capital, and our Edge does a great job of that. So let's break right into it. Let me see here. That was last Friday there. Tuesday. All right, so MLK Day. So there was no Monday. Tuesday going into... Hold up. Give me a second here. Let me throw on the pit numbers. Come over here. HPT. All right. We're going to get rid of that. Bam. Bam. Okay. All right, so going into the week, right? This blue line is previous day high, this gray line is end of day, and this purple line is previous day low. So I have a pretty simple strategy, right? Where every day I just approach the market, I identify my pit numbers, and I look to trade off them, right? I'm looking to see who can control them. Tuesday morning, we got open print is established right here at 606.5. Right? Open print. My job is to figure out who's controlling the open. Right? If I can figure out who's controlling that open, it gives me a much higher probability of capitalizing on a good move, right? And we're reacting to price action instead of predicting it. And we got a really good setup right here. I mean, look at this. We get break above open print, and then sellers come in, show a lot of strength. They disrespect that candle in front of it, and now we come in a previous day high, right? This blue line. So now I'm looking for the retest of the open, which we get, and then we get a very nice red candle off it. So I don't enter short on this candle. I let price come up. Another thing I really liked about this trade is look at the trend, right? Look at the moving average. We're hugging the price. It's close. All the moving averages have crossed over. We're even at the 50, right? We're seeing weakness from buyers at the 50. So once we come up into that open here, open print, which is labeled bearish target, but it's this is OP. So let me just, boom, that 09 means OP in my head. So we rip into OP, we reject. I go short once we wipe out this candle here, and my stop goes right above the candle I got in. Right? I wanted to put my stop above open print, but it was just too far away. Right? Once again, managing a risk. And this looked really good, right? If you look at it like this right here is my criteria. This is my bread and butter. This right here, on average, has a 77% win ratio. I have to take this, right? Like, I can't look at this and go, it's at previous day high. I don't know. I'm not like there's none of that, right? Like I've collected the data, we've done the research. This is what works for me. So when I see it, I have to pull the trigger, right? Like it's not special. The trade isn't special. I'm literally just looking for my criteria every single day and executing. If it becomes special, then I stop managing risk appropriately, right? I don't know if you guys feel that way, but like if and when I put too much into the trade, I think it's unique. That's when you start compromising, right? And you're like, oh, maybe I'll hold it here, I'll hold it, right? It's like, no, it's not special. This is your criteria. Take the short. Hopped in the short. She looked beautiful. We sold off really quickly, and then boom, we got that bull 180, and price just started to rip right back up. Where I ended up stomping out of the trade on this candle right here, right? Because my stop was above open print. So overall, I did a great job identifying the strategy. I think I did a phenomenal job. Executing into the strategy. It just didn't have any legs, and it turned around, right? And that's okay. You know what I'm saying? Like that's gonna happen. It's part of the game. But yeah, it was definitely a good move. And then it just started to reverse. And then if you see here, right, like we always talk about that 50-50 perspective, right? Like if sellers don't hold the open, there's a pretty high chance that buyers will, right? And you can see here we end up getting a really nice move up into open print. A price then came right back into this red bar here, got a really nice retest. And then price ended up rallying for the rest of the day, right? I only took one trade this day. That was it. And that's all I did on Tuesday.
Can I show you something?
Todd, did you trade Tuesday?
No, I was at a doctor's appointment.
Oh, okay.
But man, that move that happened later on, that was nice.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
And, yeah, that 1220 candle. Huh.
Yeah. Right.
If I'd have been informed the charts, I would have loved to take that.
Yeah, and it's cool, right? Because like price, you develop a trade plan, you hop in a trade, and then when you're trading these critical levels like this, like we got like 88% of the time, it's either going to go down to the end of day or it's going to go to whatever upside target there is. And this was a beautiful example of that, right? Nice short play, didn't work out. And then price ended up rallying here to the upside, right? So that 50-50 perspective was beautiful. I really like here too. Look how it held that 50 right here. That was beautiful right there. Boom, comes right into the 50. You get that fake out bearish candle. And that price just ended up, price just ended up rallying right there.
Yeah, and I was also looking at this morning. That 1220 candle, your time.
Yeah.
And we have those wicks up there, and it was a little bit above open print.
Yeah.
There's like a wall, like a little shelf right there.
Yeah.
It was resistance, and then it turned support right there.
Yeah, right here.
That's one of my I love those plays.
Yeah, it's beautiful, right? You get that once that resistance forms, and I like to play it in my mind, right? Like you got people coming, they're short and open print, right? Prices coming back up into open, they short it, and then buyers hold that moving average, right? Like what did you say last time? You're like a bearish candle above a moving average it's not real, right? It holds no weight.
Fake. Yeah, it's fake.
It's a fake out. Yeah, I love that. That's what it's all about. And then you get that little nice break and retest right there. Price hold the cloud just so well too. And then like a couple things I want to point out. Just look at that moving average relationship right there. Another thing I was looking at here is you whip out that 1 hour, like look, because what was going through my mind here, right, is we had end of day all the way down here. So, more often than not, you get the gap fill, right? Price opens up and comes down and closes the gap. But what does it look like when that's not working, right? Like we need to come up with ways where we are like, all right, the gap fill is not going to happen. I know this because of what, right? And that, like, whip out that 1 hour moving average there. Look at how price, like right here, we're below the 1 hour 9, right here. And then look at what happens once we get back above it, right? Like right here, right? So like when I'm looking at this, I'm like, just like if it was a 5-minute time frame here, right? If we're below the 9 and then closed back above it, like this candle, oh shoot, hold up. This candle right here, this guy, you're closing back above that moving average, bam, there's a very high chance that price is going to continue there. And it did. That was really nice. Really good. All right.
High chance we gonna gap and go instead of gap and crap.
Yeah, yeah, that's the gap and go. And it's like we learn to use them 1 hour moving averages like that. It just makes it much easier, to accept the fact that, hey, that gap fill is not happening. This is what acceptance looks like. How can I then get in the trade and capitalize on it? But yeah, I took that first L right there, and I was just like, all right, I had some other stuff I had to take care of. I was like, all right, I'm done with that for the day. All right, now let's go into the next day, Wednesday. Wednesday, kind of similar approach where we're gapping up. Hold up, let me get these right. We got previous day high. We got end of day right next to each other. We're gapping up significantly, right? Like, look at this gap up. Right? Things are really bullish. Trump's back in office. He's doing a lot, right? Like, people are really bullish right now. But once again, we need a repeatable approach that we can use daily, right? So I'm like, okay, if we get our strategy here, I'll take it. And I was watching the 5-minute, and one thing I want to point out here, because I did not capture any of that in the morning, but look at this on the 2-minute here. What day is that? That's Wednesday. Wednesday, right here. Look at this. Look at this on the 2-minute. It's beautiful. I just wasn't watching the 2-minute. I had the 5 open. I was looking for something else. But just look at this fake out to the downside here. There's no continuation to the downside. Price rips back above open print. Nice red bar there that's ignored. Buyers just owning the open print right there. Really good. I seen a couple traders capture this on the Discord. I was so happy when I seen it too, because I was like, man, yeah, like there's a lot of things that happened right here that were going through my mind, but I wasn't able to capitalize on it. But check it out, right? Like we're falling below the 50. We close below the 50. We come back up to open print. Like this candle right here tells us a lot, right? Like, look at this candle, right? Usually you get a retest to open print and then a battle. This candle is just closing right above it right here. Super bullish. And then price just started really ripping here. We got a nice retest here at open print. Real long Basin candle right here. It's just crazy. Look at how it held the cloud too, the EMA cloud. Like, just look at how it held that. Boom. That's your 20 right there, just holding. Then price started to move up. I ended up capturing a long play on this candle.
If I can bring up something.
Yeah, go ahead.
I can bring up something on the trade, Josh.
Yeah.
That 952 candle on the 2-minute. I took the same trade.
Yeah.
That night we're coming up to open print. We kind of blew through it with a big bar and took out 4 or 5 candles to the left.
Right here. Yep.
And then that 952 candle. You see that big wick on the bottom? That candle was all red at the beginning, and then it started turning green and blew out that red. That's when I was in.
Yeah. I like how
it was nice.
I like how you explain that like that, right? Because like you said, at one point this was completely red, right? Like this was completely red. Now, so I kind of want to walk through that your process right there, right? You're watching these candles. We drop down below. We're retesting the cloud or pre-market level or whatever's going on here. And then we get this candle. Right? Well, honestly, I'm probably watching this right here for a short. I'm going, all right, well, if this can wipe out the bottom, I might go short. But notice it can't. Right? Notice that this candle cannot wipe out the bottom of the previous candle. See, we talk about this all the time. The candlestick analysis is so vital. It's so, like when I'm watching this, I'm going, all right, who's owning who? Right? Like, is this, like, who, if this candle wipes the bottom out and it moves down, then that's bearish, right? Like, that's getting more bearish, where bearish structure's developing. But it didn't. It couldn't. Buyers wouldn't allow it. And then this happens. Boom. Right? This thing rips. So once this starts ripping, you're going, okay, I'm going to get ready for some longs. Because this candle's wiping out all this bullshit to its left, right? It's going, all this back and forth nonsense here means nothing. I just owned all of it. But obviously we can't just long that. We got to make sure this candle has legs. And then price comes down here. I'm interested what the fib tells me right here. That's good. Yeah, look at that. Perfect. How do you know? Ready? How do you know if a candle has legs? You whip out the fib. 50 and you don't even got to use the fib, right? Cuz it's hard sometimes to like whip it out. But look at the candle and ask yourself, where's the middle of it? And then if buyers can hold the middle of this candle, it's got legs. If they can't, then it's probably it was a fake out. That's a great play, Todd. Great play.
That's exactly what I do. I just put basically put a line right in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And I watch. And at the moment, I'm seeing that red candle form, and then I seen it suck back up, and that same candle start to turn green.
Yeah.
Then I'm starting to put my finger on the trigger.
Yeah, I'm getting ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's I love watching it too. Like this right here is what I love to watch. Like this is the battle. This is what we look for. Like if you can see who's doing this at open print, you're gonna have a great way to get in and out of that market with low risk too. Because think like when you're long in this, your stop literally just needs to go. But like right below whatever the low of that candle is, right? So you're really not risking a lot here. You know, maybe the bottom of this, depending on where you got in. But if I was getting in that, I'd keep my stop like right below that candle.
High reward, low risk.
Managing,
That's what I look for.
yep, managing capital, is key. It's key. I ended up catching a nice move off because. So I'm watching the 5 minute and I couldn't really get anything I liked. Yeah, we were ripping, but there was no like bullish structure that I really liked. And all that means is like I'm watching this go up, and I'm going, all right, we finally got a red candle. Let's see if it gets ignored, right? So then I'll draw a box because we don't know this is gonna happen. All we know is this. So I'll draw a box around this candle. And I'll look for some strength off it, and we did kind of get we did kind of break it, but there was no, I didn't like the risk on it. I didn't want my stop to be 60 cents away here or like 70 cents. There was no legs on it. I'm pretty sure we were coming into a level on SPX as well, like a resistance. So I just wanted a little bit more, and then as bearish structure starts to form here. Now I'm looking forward to getting validated, right? Because we're above the moving averages, right? So like we always say, that's a fake. Like it's a fake, right? Bearish structure above certain moving averages, especially in these market conditions. I can't be bearish here until we get below open print. So I'm like, all right, let's see if sellers can hold this, and they couldn't. We got a nice red candle there that got disrespected, and then she ended up moving. I caught a nice little move up into the highs here. But yeah, that was a good day right there. Wednesday Wednesday, Thursday. Thursday, I got okie doked pretty well. This is the day I wanted to talk about, where, and it's up for debate, right? We talk about this, and I'm interested to see what you think. But we got open print. We got this level right here. Hold on. So we have end of day right here. We got open print. We got previous day low right here. Was that previous day low? Hold on. I think I got it. Is it? Hold up. Let me see. Yeah. Yeah, that's previous day low. Hold on. Let me do this. Yeah, this day right here. Okay. So we got previous day low right here. So I'm kind of looking for weakness going into it. We got end of day right here, and then we got previous day high up here. Okay, very simple. We're trading in a range. Now, price rips up into EOD somewhat. We get some selling. I'm being really patient here. I'm not rushing nothing. And then we're above open print, right? We're above open print, but we get this green bar that's been disrespected right here at OP. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go short here, right? And this is the thing. If you ask me, I didn't follow my strategy here, right? The moving averages never crossed. Like, they were crossing, but you can see right here, even with this candle closing the way it did, there was no cross right here, right? There's no downward arrow. So, did I rush it? Did I not? Maybe. And with previous day low being right there, yeah, maybe I could have known, maybe I could have seen it. But this is the thing. I seen what I believe to be weak buying, so I entered short. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is going to happen, right? Like, you're not always going to have perfect analysis X, Y, Z. But the biggest thing that bothered me here was that I entered into this trade before my criteria was there, right? It was valid, right? We got a really large red candle. Sellers were holding 50% of it. And then price just completely bull 180'd on me and stopped me out of my trade. And once again, this is why the strategy is the way it is, because we're only ever risking one bar. You know what I'm saying? We're only ever risking one bar, and then when we make money, we're making more than one bar. We're making 2 or 4 or 6, right? So this was a solid trade, but that no moving average cross there, and look what happened. Price just rallied to the upside. But this one, look at this. We got a high right here. And then we got a lower high too. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like, I gotta take that. I gotta take it. And it just turned right on me. And then once this candle happened, I'm like, oh, she's gonna rip. And look, this thing just beast mode.
Yeah, that bull 180 came in hard.
Well, and in my mind, right, like the way I look at that, I'm like, why was there such a rally? Because obviously there was a lot of people doing what I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like this is a zero-sum game, right? We got to be aware to the fact that every time someone's winning, it's because somebody's losing. So, and vice versa. Anytime someone's losing, it's because someone's winning. So you got to start to ask yourself, all right, why did I lose? Right? Well, and it's not necessarily like you're a dumb trader or you don't know what you're doing. Or maybe it just, your edge wasn't there and you thought it was like I did. But at the end of the day, a lot of people seen this red candle here and thought it was going to sell off. Look, it closed below open print, etc. Looking back, what I would have done differently is if I'm taking a short play, I'm playing a bearish move, it's probably best to wait for bearish structure below open print. And obviously wait for that moving average to actually cross, right? That's one thing I took from that. Wait for the moving average to cross and go from there.
Yeah.
I thought
that was a tough one. I mean, but
yeah, it's gonna happen.
What I've been seeing here, especially this last week, the first 30 minutes, an hour is just up, down, up, down, up, down.
Yeah.
And then we get a move, a clear move later in the day. But not saying not take your setups, but that's just the way the market goes
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah, especially like with this volatility. Look at what ended up happening here, right? Like, look, I ended up capturing a long too here. Uh, Bro, this was crazy. So we got open print here. I ended up taking another loss right here. I took the market long. My stop was below this candle, and it ended up hitting me and going right up in my favor. And then at that point, I'm like, okay, today just might not be your day. And know what's crazy is I knew I was like when I went long off this candle, I had a really good entry because I was playing this RBI right here. I was like, all right, I'm gonna take this long, and I was like, but Josh, like, are you gonna be able to hold the pullback, right? Because look, we're not below the 9. I mean, we're not above the 9. There's no real bullish structure here to the upside. I probably should have waited on this long, but anyways, I'm in long, and I'm playing 0-day SPX cons, and my theta, and so I bought my contracts for around $600, like 620, I think, something like that, and I put my stop in at 400, right? So I'm risking about 30% of my trade. And with theta, you're gonna end up like if your stop initially is here, it's gonna start creeping up on you, right? And that was just I knew that I had a feeling that was gonna happen. It did. I didn't want to risk anymore. But then towards the end of the day, uh, we found that acceptance here above previous day high, and this move right here was almost I think it was like almost 180% ROI on this trading 0-day SPX contracts. They're very risky, especially at the last 10 minutes of the day. But if you have the knowledge, right? All-time high was right here, and this candle off PDH, I got to take that, right? Like I understand that if buyers own this level, there's a very high chance we're going to rally up here. So I end up capturing a really good move up into previous all-time high here in the last 10 minutes. So, and that's the craziest part about trading, right? Like, it's not your job to be right constantly. It's your job to identify opportunity. Like, what actually makes you money? Identifying opportunity, right? Like, yeah, analysis helps keep us consistent, have a good approach. But, like, at the end of the day, it's your job to just identify that good opportunity and pull triggers on it. That was insane though, right there. Then Friday. Friday was a great day, bro. This was a really good day. I made a YouTube video on this day. Uh, what I want to point out here, I thought when we were live, we did a fantastic job on this short play. It just I don't for anybody that traded Friday, the price action was so slow. Like, bro, it was like watching paint. Like if you bro, if you watch that video I posted of us trading, it's an hour long. My bad. No, it's 15 minutes. But I chopped it. Like we were on the live for like an hour and a half. I started at 10 and ended up getting off like right here. But price just was back and forth, back and forth. But I thought we traded the edge perfectly, right? We caught. I had a great entry here off open print. We had a good moving average cross. My first target was 609.04. It was like a 45-cent move on SPX. I was up like 24%, and I told everyone I was like, listen, I'm gonna hold this, and that was pretty dumb. I don't want to use that word. I was like, listen, I'm gonna hold this into PD8, our previous all-time high, and see what happens. Right? I was complete. The risk was completely accepted, and this is why. Right? Because I've been trading for a while. I know if I take a loss here, I could end up making it all back here. Right? Like, don't be so afraid to make money on your trade, right? Or to lose money on your trade. It's okay to lose money as long as when something like this happens, you can see it and capitalize on it, right? Like this was beautiful right here. This trade right here, later in the day, I ended up getting stomped out right here on this trade, for like a 30% loss, and then this trade came in and just it was beautiful. Like I went picked my daughter up from school, got back in front of my computer, and the market looked like this. And I was like, oh, here we go. I was like weakness, and I